Hey there, viewers, and welcome back to the Self-Made Auto Channel. So a little bit ago we did a video on a Chevrolet Cruze that had a high-speed cooling fan issue, or a fan that was a single fan, 3 speeds, used resistor. It only worked on high speed. In that video I mentioned that if I ever had a 2-fan, 3 relay system come in where they use the 1 fan as a resistor, that I would do a video on it. I didn't expect it to come in the door a week later. Got us a 2012 Honda Odyssey here. Customer complaint is the AC doesn't work. Well, the funny thing is, I just fixed the AC on this thing, a month ago. I had a hose that was leaking, so I'm thinking, worst case, I missed something. Long story short, the system is full. The customer complaint should have been the AC doesn't work when I'm sitting at a stop sign or in traffic, or the AC is good when I'm driving, but as soon as I slow down, it gets a little warmer. It doesn't completely quit working, but it's not as good as it is when you're going down the road. I noticed that on my test drive. I checked the pressures on it. The pressures are good. The system is full, thankfully, so no problems on our part. But what that does tell me right off the bat is there's an airflow issue, either condenser issue, something like that, or there's simply the fans aren't working as they should. So I want to bring you along. I did pop the hood. I see 1 fan is running. I believe on these both fans should be running with the AC on. So let's get some wire diagrams. We'll look at that. We'll see what's going on. I did spin them with my fingers. None of them are seized up. Nothing super obvious. Grab a diagram. We'll go through the system, see how it's supposed to work, and then make our call. Do our diag. Yeah, well, I hope this is going to work out for us. I got you guys kind of propped up here on the cart, so hopefully I don't bump it too much. Okay, so the only fan under the hood currently working is, which one is working? The one on the driver's side. Okay, so let's see. AC condenser fan behind the left side of radiator. So this is the fan that works. This fan I have not seen kick on. Now I didn't leave it running. I mean, it is up to temperature, but with the AC on, that one works. So what does it take to make that fan work is what we need to look at. Okay, we'll assume the relay's closing, so we'll just follow the power down. Power comes from this fuse. Okay, the switch is going to go closed. It's going to send power down, around town, through the fan. Now we have power going to it, and we know the fan works, so we need a ground. So it would have to come up, because we're going to be looking for a ground. Now we come to another relay, a fan control relay. If this relay is in its current position, which we'll assume it is, or we'll guess that it is, let's see where this would go and what this would create for us. Power is going to come down here, it would go here, and it would go up and go to a dead end. So we would come this way, across, and through the other fan, and then to a ground. Okay, what would that cause us? So if we had power coming down, going through this fan, around here, and then through this fan, the 2 fans are going to be hooked in series. If it was functioning like this, this would make both fans spin at half the speed, because half the voltage is going to be dropped at this fan, the other half voltage is going to be dropped at this fan. So both fans should be on low, and that's not what we have. So let me grab a Sharpie. So that's what it would take to create a low speed. That's the circuit that would have to work. I just want to label this. That would be a low speed fan. I assume that this car has the ability to do that. I printed this out several copies because I thought this might happen. All right, now let's figure out our other scenario. Oh, we got some bleed through. Let's start back up here again, because we know this relay's turning on. So we're going to come through here, come down, around town. We'll come up through here. Now again, we're going to be looking for a ground. Let's come up here. Let's go over. Let's assume this relay closes and puts us to ground. That would turn this fan, single fan, on high speed. So what does it take to make this relay close would be the next question. It comes from the ECM, comes up here to a radiator fan relay, then it's piggybacked to this one. So this is important. If this relay is turned on, then this relay is also turned on. Okay, because they both run off the same control wire. So if this relay turns on, then what happens? We would have power down, power this way. It would come down here. It would go over, it would go up, And up here it would come to a dead end because remember, this switch has been moved, theoretically. So that one would be a dead end. Then we would come down, around town, and down to ground. If this was the case, this fan motor would be on high speed because the power's coming in through it, up through the fan control relay into ground, so that one's on high. Get high. And this one would be on high. So we have a high speed system and a low speed system. All right, there's our low, and there's our high. Now, can we make a logical deduction as to why what's happening is what's happening? So we have a couple things. This fan motor we know is working on high speed. If this relay fan, if this fan motor was open, let's say it's commanded on. Let's get a new sheet. I printed 3, so let's use them all. We need to come up with a logical plan. So usually diagnosing cars is like 10 minutes, 20 minutes looking at a diagram and 5 minutes of doing. Alright, so we know that relay works. We have power going to it. It's finding a ground source. And I'm going to assume, let's just draw this out. This relay is closed. When the AC turns on, comes through, up through. Now which ground source is it logically using? I'm going to have to assume this one because this fan is spinning on high speed. Okay, why do I choose that one? Because let's say it was going through and back down through the low speed through this motor. Now this motor is not working. So it's either not being turned on, it's open circuited, the fuse is blown, something like that. But let's say this one was going down and going through it. This would be at low speed. If this fan was open circuited, neither one of the fans would work because it could not find its way to ground. So, therefore, I'm going to have to assume that it is utilizing this ground. That is the only way for that fan to function on high speed. Okay? In order for this to use the ground, if you recall, this relay has to be turned on. In order for this one to be turned on, this one has to be turned on. So what we need to focus our efforts on is why this radiator fan doesn't work. So let's look at that circuit independently. Let me get a different color if I have one. Oh, I do. It's sparkly. No, so that's just pink. So this one doesn't work. So let's look at that circuit independently. We know, or we can assume that the control side of this relay works. So in order for this fan to work, we're going to look at just the pink circuit. Oh, my pink marker 9 comes down. We're going to skip that upper one and through and around into ground. So what are the possibilities here? Of course, there's obvious connection issues. There's, bad grounds. There's, bad fan motor, yada yada. Let's start with the simple stuff. We could have a bad relay. Like I say, we assume the control side's working because we assume that this relay is working. We could have a bad fuse, lack of power, bad relay, bad contacts, bad connections, bad fan motor. So there's a lot of possibilities. What we will do is check the simple stuff first. Let's check the fuse. We're not going to plug in a computer and try to command this on because I'm pretty certain that both those fans should be working right now. So let's check the fuse. If the fuse is good, we'll go to the relay. We'll do a quick bypass test so we don't even have to go down and unplug this to see if the relay works. But let's start there. Hopefully, looking at these diagrams and seeing the power flow, you can understand how the high-speed system works and how the low-speed system works, putting the fans in series. It's just like light bulbs. If we put them in series, they would all turn on, but they would all progressively get dimmer as it went on. That's why we use parallel circuits. So let's look at that. What do we got here? Fuse number 29. Hey, it's that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, nice hair, bro. Give me a flick. Give me a hair flick. Nice. Hey. What's up, girl? Mommy buying you some snacks? What'd she get you?
I bought you a snack too.
Ooh, Ooh, that get me jacked up.
Give me this, I like it.
Oh,
Bye.
stroopwafels? Ah, so English. I better go get me a tea. Well, thank you. Oh, does that say bourbon? Cinnamon and real bourbon, vanilla.
Bourbon in it?
And bourbon vanilla.
Huh.
All right, give me that. Come on.
Oh.
So I just started the car up for us. Turned on the AC. I think it's making a freaking liar out of me now. I look in here. Both fans, I don't know if you can see the camera, but both fans are running on low speed. I'm gonna let it run for a little bit. Our AC compressor just shut off. Both fans just, okay, now they turn back on. Let's get some high side pressure up in this joint. So basically our low speed fan circuit is working, which is extremely helpful in our diagnosis because we know that that fan motor is good now. We know that ground's good, we know that connection's good, we know everything from here all the way down is good. I want to see both the fans work on high because I know for a fact that when it was on high, it was only this fan here. Let's go give it the old Italian tune-up. Let's crank this up, son. Ah, told you I wasn't lying. Let's see what we got now. There, boom. That fan. Try to cut down on the wind for you. This fan is not working. This one is. Okay, it just shut off. Let's see how it turns back on. Alright, we got one high speed, one low speed, or one no speed. That's how it was, folks. Let's just see. So they both kick on low there, get back out of the fan or out of the wind. They both kick on low for a minute, and then the other one shuts off. Okay, let's stick to our original plan. But that answers a lot of questions. Now we ain't gotta go digging for anything. All right, let's shut her down. Okay. Diagrams, fuse box layout, you need that. And it is fuse numero 29er. Fuse 29er. Right? Why in the thunder am I not seeing that? Is it labeled on here? 20, 30, 18, 17, 29er. Okay. Does that go this way? Front. Love Honda that does that. Front 29. That one. She smoked. Let me get pliers. Oh my gosh, new fuse too. Now you guys ain't gonna be able to see it. I can barely see it. But that fuse is open. Now, what's that tell us? That tells us something blew the goddamn fuse. And we don't know what we don't know. According to this diagram, that fuse only runs that fan. No, it doesn't. It runs potentially just that fan. Yep. It only runs that fan. 30 amp fuse on one fan, huh? She must be drawing current. Let's first and foremost see which one was the bad one. You got mixed up a bit, didn't we? No, I can't even freaking see here. I'm getting old. Okay. So I got it figured out. That's the bad one. Tell you what, let's just go like this. Bye-bye. Man, I shouldn't see if it just nukes that fuse. These things are expensive. Let me just start it up. See if we have lots of sparks. Hold on. These are running. Great, they're both on low speed again. So this fuse is not going to have anything at all. Nope. Well, let's take a chance, man. Grab life by the horns. put it in there. If it blows, well, it's my dime. Now we want our fans to come on high speed is the thing, so let's give her the rev up tune up again, get it warmed up, and see if they come on high speed. And then, of course, we're not done. Kick her back on. Run out real quick like a bunny. You hoo-hoos. Both down low. Maybe we'll grab a scan tool just so we can turn it on. I gotta tell you folks, when it rains it pours. My lift broke, my tire machine broke, the inspection machine broke. I broke a tooth the other day eating lunch, and my Altel just broke. Oh, I'm ready to go jump off a bridge. The new lift is in, the new tire machine is in. The guy came and fixed the inspection machine. And I just sent out the email to the Altel. And then I just had to go help my boy Josh. So we're back on this. We were going to take a toggle on the fans, if I remember correctly. So we're going to use the old diag gun, which usually works pretty well. And I don't even know if this has bi-directional for the fan control, so I hope it does. Because we need to see what the current draw is there. Currently, plenty, right? Okay, we want to do system selection. Engine system. I'll try to get this baby over here. She is cell phone sized. I think when these first came out, they were like $5. It's a fantastic little tool for that. For the price, anyways. We want actuation test. Hit the VTEC, yo! Radiator fan, there we go. Radiator fan's on or off. Let's do high speed. Ooh! Let's have a looky. Sounds like they're both on high speed. And that they are. Let's grab this little guy. Turn them both off. Let them wind down so you guys can see that they're both spinning. Well, that's a good little bi-directional test. The one we need. So it looks like it kicks some low speed then high speed. Okay, and it didn't blow the fuse, so I ain't out my nickel. Let's shut this off. Let's get something so we can check current draw on that to see why in the thunder that blew a fuse. Plus I'm going to get a power distribution diagram to make sure that is the only thing that runs. I'm not going to print it out here, but yes, fuse 29 only runs that radiator fan, well, fan relay. So it runs that fan only. All right. I built me a new shelf, the shelf that I put things on. Unfortunately, it only holds half my black boxes. This is the one we want, yeah. Holy crap, biscuit! So we're going to take and pull this fuse out. Now, this is a low pro fuse. I do not have a adapter for these for using a current clamp, but what we'll do, it's against my better judgment, being that it doesn't blow that fuse, we'll just use some light gauge wire that'll probably get smoking hot. Clamp that on that terminal. Now we could quickly make a 30 amp jumper, but it's obviously not smoking the fuse right away. Stick that in there. We're going to take, we'll go to graphing. Well, actually we'll just go right to the scope. That way we can see if this fan is smoked too. We'll go to low amps. Actually we'll jump up on a higher scale here. Let's turn this thing on. Turn me on, baby. Wrong way every time. Make sure it's zeroed. And we are pulling. Let me move our diagonal here. We're pulling a little over 8 amps. Not looking too shabby. Why did it blow? I don't know, but there's about 10 people standing here, so I'm going to shut everything off. We'll be back. Time to wiggle it. We got to do something. Try to repeat this. I'm going to put this in graphing mode in case there is a spike. I don't want to miss it. I'll just put a lot of time on the screen. Not that much time. I'm gonna do 2 minutes on the screen. Now I'm gonna go give it a little wiggle. Just to see. That's kind of prop right there. Somewhere's. Newton knew, said the blind man. No, the blind man didn't say that. So I spent a little more time wiggling, looking at wires, you know, tweaking the fan, spinning it by hand, seeing if I hear noisy bearings in it or everything, and I don't. I do see one fan's been replaced, aftermarket fender, aftermarket bumper cover. I don't know how long this problem has existed is the other problem. You know, when this thing's obviously been in a wreck, you know, did that fan seize up, blow that fuse at one time and it's never worked? You know, I don't know. The fact that we see that this fan draws 8 amps, its inrush current is 15, wiggled, followed the harness, don't see any rub spots, all factory tape, don't see any where, you know, anybody's been in there meddling with things they'll not be meddling with. I gotta let it go. I'm not gonna spend hours and hours chasing something that potentially could be a ghost or a pre-existing problem from years ago, who knows. So we'll leave it at that. The lady does live here pretty local. If that fuse blows again, then yeah, we'll spend a lot more time with it. And there's nothing more I can do at this point. Hopefully you understand a little bit more how the 3 relay system works, how it uses a series circuit, 2 fans in series, and makes the low speed, and how the high speed section of it works with the, you know, the other 2 relays turning on to create independent circuits to those cooling fans. And hopefully you can see how we use a little bit of logic and a wiring diagram, and you know, just a couple of minutes, maybe 5 minutes, looking, coming up with a theory of what could possibly be wrong, and go right to the problem. And that's kind of what, you know, our method usually is. And we try to stick to our guns, stick to that method, and you know, use a little bit of logic, some common sense. Like I say, a lot of diagnosing is 80% learning and 20% doing, or you know, 80% research, so to speak. You know, looking at diagrams, theory, operation. Okay, what are my tests going to be, and then implement them onto the car and go do them. And also, what do you expect to see? You know, without looking at diagram and stuff, it's just, you know, it's a guessing game. So hopefully that helps you out. Why don't you help me out by clicking subscribe, ringing the bell, leaving a comment, and just remember, viewers, if I could do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.